Hey, Teddy K here for Best Buy Plugin, and in this video review we take a look at the Sandmarc lenses. These are mobile lenses made for the iPhone X, XS, and even for some other phones to shoot in a variety of different ways. The iPhone is one of the most widely used cameras in the world, and so adding a lens to the existing camera is one of those things that you might want to do or you may have never considered. So Sandmarc's lenses come in a few different iterations. There's the wide, there's the fisheye, and the macro. Now in this review, I tested the wide and the fisheye lenses. The wide lens is a 15mm equivalent. So if you're thinking 35mm, it's a 15mm equivalent, which equates to about 2 times the view of what you would get with the iPhone. Whereas the fisheye is a 10mm and you get a little bit more. You get about, well, actually more than a little bit more. You get 5 times actually, because again, you get that kind of warped view that you would typically get with a fisheye lens. Now, of the two, the wide angle lens is probably the most practical. You can't get everything into a frame. This is one of those lenses that can help with that because obviously you get a little bit more space. You don't have to move back as much. You can get more people in a group shot. You don't have to create as much distance to get the kind of shot that you want. You can get more in there. One thing I liked about the way Sandmarc did this was that they include a case with the lenses, so that way you can just put on the case and then the lens just kind of screws on. So you have a very snug and firm fit, which makes it easy to carry the phone and easy to shoot without really worrying about where the lens is and whether it's going to fall off. The reason I say that is because there's also a clip included. So you can use the lens with another phone using the clip that comes included in the box, where you kind of align it over the lens. This is not as good as the screw-on method, obviously, because there's always the chance they could move a little bit. It may not be perfectly aligned all the time. There's just a lot of variables. It's there. I mean, I tried it with a Pixel 2, for example. It wasn't bad. It was pretty good, but I had to be careful. And of course, there's also the thing about the clip, or the other side of the clip, just partly covering the screen. Anyway, just something to consider because where the lens is on the phone does matter. So I'm not going to belabor any points here. As far as image quality goes, Sandmarc did a pretty good job here. So these are very nice lenses. They're very well built. They're hefty. They've got the aluminum bodies. They don't feel cheap and they don't seem cheap. In terms of photo quality, well, that's of course going to be subjective, but I liked what I saw for the most part. It's still going to be somewhat beholden to what the iPhone can do. Now, bear in mind that while these were designed originally for the iPhone X, they will work perfectly fine with the iPhone XS as well, because that phone has the exact same form factor. So interchangeable, no problem. There are some nuances I do want to point out. Now, in some cases, I found that there was a very big difference between what the lens I was getting with the lens on and what I was getting without the lens on. I'll give you, one example is this one image I shot with the sky in the background. It was a beautiful sky, and it just, I mean, they look totally different as far as with or without the lens. That doesn't happen all the time, but it can happen, particularly when shooting with, interesting lighting like that, or challenging lighting situations, sometimes with low light, because more light comes in with the wide-angle lens especially. You might get a little bit better composition because of that. Buying a lens for the iPhone is going to be a bit of a commitment. You have to be willing to shoot. You have to be shooting often. I don't know that you would necessarily want to buy this purely for just one vacation. I think you should have a curiosity about iPhone photography. I mean, especially if you're using your iPhone to shoot a lot of photos, both just slices of life shots, or you're taking them on vacation or on trips, and you're shooting that way. If you want to add something extra to your repertoire, this is one way to do that, and you probably will get better shots as a result. And that's my review of the Sandmarc lenses for the iPhone X and XS. For Best Buy Plugin, I'm Teddy K. Thanks for watching.